The film begins and sets the stage with a thrilling opening sequence as we see a man, Nathan Drake, who finds himself hanging outside a plane enaddled in falling cargo. With impressive agility, he navigates the chaos, evades henchmen and more falling cargo, and makes his way on board, only to be hit with an unexpected obstacle, a car falling out of a ramp that sends him hurtling towards the ground. Just as all seems lost, a hand reaches out to save him, setting the stage for the adventure to come. Transitioning to a flashback, we journey back 15 years to Boston, where we meet a young Nate and his older brother Sam, who are orphans. The brothers embark on a daring mission to steal the original map of Ferdinand Magellan's expedition from a museum. Their mission is driven by the allure of hidden gold, as it is believed Magellan's entire expedition was aimed at discovering concealed gold. However, they are caught by security, leading to dire consequences for Sam. As it is a repetitive occurring in Sam's third strike, he is expelled from the orphanage where they are living, and he will have to live somewhere else. Separated from Nate and facing expulsion from the orphanage, Sam is forced to leave his younger brother behind. Despite the circumstances, he makes a promise to Nate that he will return for him, leaving behind their family legacy and a ring that belonged to their ancestor, Francis Drake, bearing the inscription Sic Parvis Magna, which translates to greatness from small beginnings. In the present day, Nathan Drake, now working as a bartender, displays his quick wit and sleight of hand as he swipes a bracelet from a snooty rich patron when she's not noticing. His actions are seen by Victor Sullivan, who is a fortune hunter. Sully sees potential in Nate and offers to work together, but Nate refuses. However, when he leaves, Nate discovers that Sully has taken the bracelet from him and left behind his business card. Nate pays a visit to Sully's office to retrieve the bracelet. He is intrigued by the artifacts in his possession, including the same map he and Sam once sought. Sully reveals that Sam had assisted him in acquiring the diary of Juan Sebastian Elcano, which contains the clues in the search for Magellan's treasure. Despite his initial reluctance to get involved in treasure hunting again, he reflects on the postcards Sam had sent him over the years. With a renewed sense of purpose, Nate reaches out to Sully, signaling the beginning of an unlikely partnership that will take them on a journey filled with adventure and discovery. Sully informs Nate that they will have to acquire a golden cross, one of the 2 keys necessary to get the treasure. Sully possesses the first key, and they learn that the second one will be up for auction at a museum. They plan the heist, knowing that Santiago Moncada, a descendant of the Moncada family associated with Magellan's voyage, will most likely vie for the cross because he believes it is his birthright. Before the auction, Nate conducts background checks on Sully to ascertain the trustworthiness of his new partner. At the auction, tensions rise when Sully spots Joe Braddock, a formidable mercenary with whom he has a history. Braddock recognizes Sully's intentions and confronts him, which adds an additional dimension to the heist. As the auction begins, Nate plans to disable the power to create a distraction, but he is thwarted by Moncada's imposing Scottish henchmen. Meanwhile, to buy time, Sully tries to outbid Moncada, despite not having the money. After evading the henchmen, Nate swings from a chandelier to create a diversion. Sully snatches the cross and makes a daring escape, with Nate hot on his heels. However, their getaway is complicated by the appearance of Braddock. Sully is almost caught by her, but is saved by the arrival of some guards. In a tense showdown, Braddock dispatches guards violently. This allows Nate and Sully to flee in Sully's car as they continue their pursuit of Magellan's treasure. Nate and Sully's journey takes them to Barcelona, where they rendezvous with Sully's associate, Chloe Fraser, who possesses the second golden cross. Chloe is initially wary of Nate's presence, but quickly reveals her own duplicity by snatching the cross from Nate's bag. Nate and Sully give chase, and she almost evades them. They remind Chloe that she doesn't know the location of the treasure and needs their expertise to decipher the clues. Realizing that they need each other's skills, Chloe reluctantly agrees to work with Nate and Sully. Using clues from the diary, Nate deduces that their first destination is the Church of Santa Maria del Pi. As they prepare for their next move, Chloe confronts Sully about withholding information regarding Sam, piquing Nate's curiosity about his brother's involvement. Meanwhile, at the Moncada Foundation headquarters, Santiago Moncada learns of his father Armando's decision to donate the family fortune. Santiago confronts Armando, who expresses his disappointment in his son's unworthiness. After one final conversation with his father, Moncada orders Braddock to murder Armando before taking the money and embarking on his own expedition. Nate, Sully, and Chloe arrive at the church and discover the hidden passageway underground. Using the golden crosses, they attempt to unlock the entrance, but trigger a booby trap due to Sully's misinterpretation of the instructions in the diary. As Nate and Chloe venture down the passageway with one key, they leave the other with Sully. In the underground chambers, Chloe shares her distrust of others, revealing how her father betrayed her by absconding with funds from a discovery she made. Their exploration leads them to a nightclub, where they uncover the next passage concealed behind the bar. Meanwhile, the Scotsman and another of Braddock's henchmen discover their whereabouts, with Braddock herself trailing Sully. Nate and Chloe fend off the attackers and manage to navigate through the hidden entrance. Nate and Chloe come across a trap door and attempt to unlock it using their crosses. The room suddenly begins to flood, trapping them inside. Sully rushes to their aid, utilizing the second cross to help free them from the rising water. However, he is confronted by Braddock, who attacks him just as he discovers another keyhole hidden behind glass in a restaurant wall. Sully manages to overpower Braddock, throws her on the glass, and shatters it, allowing Nate and Chloe to escape before they drown. Once they are safe, they discover another chamber requiring both crosses to unlock a door. Sully drops his cross down on them, and they open the door. Inside, they find large urns, believing them to contain the long-sought-after treasure. However, the urns are filled with salt, shattering their hopes. Amidst the disappointment, Nate discovers a hidden map concealed among the salt, revealing the true location of the treasure in the Philippines. Before they can celebrate their discovery, Chloe betrays Nate, stealing the map for herself. She accuses Sully of withholding information about Sam from Nate before she pistol whips him. He falls unconscious. Sully locates Nate, and upon awakening, Nate immediately demands to know the fate of his brother, Sam. Sully reluctantly reveals the grim truth. He and Sam were ambushed by Braddock, resulting in Sam being shot. Sully confesses that he had no option but to flee, leaving Sam behind. Nate, overwhelmed with grief and anger, refuses to accept Sully's explanation and storms off, grappling with the devastating loss of his brother. Braddock meets with Moncada, who reveals Chloe's involvement in their scheme. He has hired her for his team, and she presented him with the map. Moncada, determined to claim the treasure for himself, organizes his expedition to the Philippines. Nate and Sully reconcile and hatch a plan to stow away on Moncada's plane by hiding in the trunk of his car. During the flight, Moncada addresses his crew, expressing his resentment towards Magellan's expedition and claiming the treasure as rightfully belonging to his family. However, Braddock betrays Moncada, killing him and seizing control of the crew. Nate and Sully attempt to escape unnoticed, but Nate's impulsive decision to confront Braddock about Sam's death jeopardizes their plan. He opens the cargo chutes, and the henchmen are thrown out. In the ensuing chaos, Sully deploys a parachute and leaps from the plane, while Nate confronts Braddock. As the cargo chutes are opened, ejecting Braddock's henchmen from the plane. The scene from the start of the movie occurs here. Chloe gets in the car with the map that knocks Nate out. Nate and Chloe manage to cling to a cargo load with a parachute and land in the ocean. They float until they reach an island resort. Nate and Chloe settle into a room at the resort, intending to study the map for clues. However, they soon realize that the map lacks precise coordinates for the treasure's location. While Chloe rests, Nate finds a hidden message in Sam's postcard after putting it on the flame, and discovers a clue suggesting that the crosses themselves hold the key to finding the treasure. Using the crosses as a compass, Nate deciphers the true coordinates hidden within the map. With this newfound knowledge, Nate subtly alters the map, inserting fake coordinates to mislead Chloe. When Chloe wakes up and sees the false coordinates, she eagerly sets off to the decoy location. Meanwhile, Nate secretly follows the genuine coordinates, determined to reach the treasure before Braddock and her crew. Nate swiftly navigates a speedboat to reach the treasure's location, closely followed by Braddock and her henchmen. Sully finds Nate, and they discover two remarkably preserved ships within the cavern, each containing the sought-after gold. As they begin collecting the treasure, Braddock orders the ships to be airlifted out of the cavern, recognizing their immense value beyond the gold they contain. Sully takes matters into his own hands, boarding one of the helicopters and incapacitating Braddock's men. When she notices him in the other helicopter, she orders her men to attack. Nate and Sully fight with Braddock's forces aboard the ship, ultimately defeating them and sending them plummeting into the sea. The Scotsman's chopper collides with a rock formation, causing one of the ships to crash alongside it. As Braddock attempts to personally eliminate Nate, Sully faces a critical decision: save Nate, or salvage the treasure. In a decisive moment, Sully hurls a bag of gold at Braddock, causing her to lose her balance and fall into the ocean. With Nate's life at stake, Sully rescues him just in time, while the second ship descends, crushing Braddock beneath its weight. Nate and Sully begin flying away, with Nate revealing that he has saved some gold. They cheekily wave down at Chloe, knowing she fell for the diversion. The duo set off on yet another thrilling adventure, leaving Chloe behind. Meanwhile, in a prison somewhere, Sam is revealed to be alive and well, writing another postcard to Nate, hinting at their inevitable reunion. Back in the outside world, Nate meets with a man named Gage to discuss acquiring an item for a certain Roman. This is a nod to the events of the first video game, as it sets them up. Sully, sporting a new mustache, becomes the target of Nate's playful ribbing. Just as they believe they're in the clear, the two are suddenly ambushed by a group of armed assailants, setting the stage for their next daring escapade, and here as the movie ends.